Hi everyone. My single dad diary is about Jason Mesnik, The Bachelor, final episode, single dad. What happened last night? Let me just take a moment to think about every dynamic that could have possibly, let's just say, go wrong. Maybe it's not a right or wrong thing, but let me just first say, okay, single parents, single dads are not like Jason. No, wait a minute. Yeah, we are like Jason. Some of us are. And some of us are willing to admit, I cannot believe how many different things were thrown in one episode. So I'm going to just try to just do what I do best, which is just kind of just digest everything and just tell you what I saw. So I've got to mention this one nuance that Jason, I picked up on last night. Did anyone catch this with his dad? His dad doing that look? Did you see that? The frown, the brow, the unibrow look. Jason does that. So we know he gets it from his dad. So check that out when you see the replay of the clip. That was pretty interesting. So I caught the old something is being processed look on his face. But anyways, of course, going back on my few clips, I was not a big fan of Melissa. I even made a comment on my last video clip that he'll end up picking Melissa but regretting ever changing his mind. So not that I'm trying to say that I called it, but hey, wow. So she changed, or at least this is what his story was after the show had ended, which, by the way, when you sign these contracts to do these shows, they're pretty thick, and they do disclose to you it's a mad rush, and you've got very little time. And I think that obviously the rush of everything all of a sudden came to a standstill, and like he said in his video last night, or his recap was they spent 6 weeks in the holidays, which, you know, holidays are pretty stressful as a single parent, but I'm trying to stay neutral, and I don't want to take any sides here because I see a lot of things going on, and I'm going to just address the Jason, then I'm going to address the Melissa, and then the Molly thing. So Jason claims holidays were rough, and over the course of 6 weeks, things started to change, or he said she started to change. So I want to probably ask a very obvious question, which none of the episodes or the producers or directors showed, was the relationship with Jason's ex. What is the status? Are they amicable? Are they enemies? She around? I mean, one of the things, if you're going to take that next step, maybe, was to interview not only the parents of both sides, but maybe the ex. You know, wouldn't hurt to throw that variable in. It would make for great TV. So I'm wondering about the relationship that Jason has with his ex-wife, and why wasn't she introduced, and why didn't the girls get to meet her to try to understand a little bit about him. Although the nice part about last night's episode was there was a view from the girl from the last episode of The Bachelorette that came in and gave him basically the pause and said, I went with my heart, you need to lead with your head and have your heart follow. So I caught that subtle nuance that she was basically saying, hey, look, I screwed up. So in Jason's defense, it sure takes a lot of courage to do what he did. And I probably would have handled it differently, but I could understand the same consequence. You don't want to lead anybody down the road any further than you've already gone. And I guess she called him a very bad word, the B word, and told him how she felt on camera, which gave her credit for saying her piece. So I think I would have handled it different, Jason. I would have just said, look, I need to clean up a mess. It didn't work out. I think that we needed to kind of like dissolve this engagement. And it's not about thinking about another girl. It's really about finding your happiness and being comfortable in your happiness. Which, by the way, there's those statistics out there in regards to the percentage of marriages that succeed after the first divorce. You need to wait at least according to statistics, minimum 14 months, and your percentages dramatically improve on the second marriage. If you rush right into it, it's very unlikely the stats are against you in terms of success. So I don't know what Jason's status is. He's got a 3-year-old son. I don't know what that gap is, but I can just tell you that maybe that has a lot to do with in terms of emotional stability on both parts. She's never been married. He's been married. Single parent relationship, co-parenting, all that stuff. Anyways, I'm rambling. But anyways, I saw a very different side of Melissa, very quick to the point. I saw that she made a stand for saying, why don't you fight for me? Why don't you stand up and make a stand since you put this ring on my finger and got on your knees? Wow, that was some heavy heat. And I can just see the dynamic of a very strong woman and a very docile man there. So not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought that that was definitely a telling sign. And the fact that also they talked a little bit on the phone, Jason got a chance to speak to the parents on the phone and he felt better about it. Again, I think with so little time to make such a major decision, it was really unfair to the start, to both parties. And probably a little more time would have been helpful. But of course, it's made for TV. Got to hand it to the host who sat there on the couch with the three of them. So what you're saying, Jason, is you're calling off the engagement. Basically, we needed that interpretation because you can't beat around the bush once you stepped over the line. And, of course, Jason has stepped over the line. Say your piece. And the choice and the consequences are yours. So where does that leave everybody? I don't know. I can just tell you that there's probably going to be some Jason sightings, some Melissa sightings, and Molly sightings. And it's going to make for some great media and some great let's just say news articles on those periodicals we see at the grocery stands. So I am done with this. I feel bad for all the parties. I think Molly's in a very awkward situation because she's going to have to go through the healing process as much as she hoped this would happen. Be careful what you wish for, because guess what? You wished for it and it's happened. So I think taking the logical step would be, for me, let's go see a relationship counselor. I got a great friend of mine, evanmarkkatz.com. Get a hold of Evan. Great guy. Evan Mark is a great, EvanMarkkatz.com. That's my recommendation for the best dating coach out there. Go get some help. Start all over again. Good luck to both of you. Melissa, I don't know what to say to Melissa. I mean, you're beautiful, but I just had a hang up about the whole family thing. And I think also, Jason, you should talk a little bit more about the relationship you've got going with the mother of your son. I think that's important. And of course, I'm going to probably cause a few comments and controversy, so I'm definitely down with that. And again, my recap is not all single parents are like that. No, wait a minute. They are. They're just like you and me. We're all human. And we make mistakes. The good thing is, in this episode, he caught his mistake. He admitted his mistake. He made his attempt to clean up his mess. And he's got a lot of pieces to pick up in this mess. And I think the one regret as a single parent is I wouldn't have tied in my kids so soon if I felt that kind of doubt. But then again, it's a TV show. So I would have used the famous quote not too long ago if I was sitting there in that couch facing Melissa. I misremembered that statement. I misremember. Just kidding. Another thing, if anybody knows how to get a hold of Jason, please send him a link and have him join singledad.com. We'll take him in. Jason, open arms. We'll take care of you. Join the club, singledad.com. Make life happen again.